Okay. I admit I don't recall precisely what we did at the end of last time. We do have a number of things to do, whether inapplicable. Oh, hang on, I was very confused by that interface, but only subtly so. Okay, so I guess I have Pro Enduro to. Oh, hello. Did not press that controller. I guess we do have an Enduro to do. We just want to catch up with everything. Another short track. I wouldn't mind doing that. Okay. And just to make sure, we have done... Yeah, so we've done 3 of these, so next is our 4th freestyle. Okay. So next to do is Enduro and short track, I think. Short track might be... Which one's better to start with? And I feel more pressure for the Enduro because I didn't place as well as I hoped I would last time. Okay, let's start with the short track. I enjoyed Gecko Dunes last time we went there, so... Okay, so on short track... Well, it is Gecko Dunes. I might leave my tuning at the default. It's kind of hard to say what I want. Normally for... Oh, it's just a little circle. Normally for short track, I think, oh, you probably want higher acceleration and so on. But... I feel like the fact that everything's so physics-based makes it difficult to really deliberately use only partial preload. You're getting extremely precise at that point. But anyways, this place though was so, you know, like, fast and smooth last time I went here in a bigger race, in a national race I think it was, that I just can't imagine I would really need a high acceleration on here. I feel like top speed actually is going to matter a little bit. See, it's not exactly a super hard turn or anything that we're doing here. Wow, this is actually kind of astoundingly boring race for a short track. I don't feel like there's much... I don't feel like there's a lot of strategy to be had in this. Maybe I should preload there? I don't know. No, hitting that bump would be good. Yeah, of course in a short track race, those sorts of things matter a lot. Alright, reload we go. Yeah, that was probably better to do. Oh, goodbye world. That may be the end of that race, we'll have to see. We do have plenty of laps left. Okay. As long as something dumb like that doesn't happen, okay, leave me alone. Yeah, I think we're fine. Goodbye, world. It's a nice comfy jump, too. It's a nice place to actually do some kind of stunt. And not to say that you couldn't optimize a route here or anything, but... Yeah, I do feel myself losing traction on that turn a bit. But, yeah, don't land on hard things. Okay. No more being fancy on that jump. We're fine here, there's no problem to me actually trying to complete this, it's just I need to not do silly things. I was getting a little too confident. Okay, I do still want to preload here. Maybe preload a little early, so I don't go for like maximum error, because I don't want that, I just want to get over that one hump. I could even, in theory, go for partial preload, but I don't see much point in that. I think going for early preload is probably a lot more sensible. Like that. I will have popped up a lot more into the air if I did the preload later. If you did the preload early, you kind of, you know, like, hop over the little lip at the top of the jump. Oh boy. I'll put me all the way. What? Yeah, I was off track apparently. A little dumb for me to be having encountered trouble repeatedly on this course, I feel like, considering its simplicity, but... I do lose a little bit, definitely, on that last turn. This one I hit just fine, it feels like. But I lose traction a little bit. And lose some speed as a result on this turn here. I did it fine that time. I guess I just have to take the turn correctly. Shift a little to the left there. Whoops. Yeah, that was good. That was a really early reload there. I don't know if it's as obvious to people watching when it is that I lose traction as it is to me. As I've said a few times, this game is really serious on the haptic feedback. And there are lots of different situations in which you'll start feeling the controller rumble, but one of them is if you're on a surface that would otherwise normally feel smooth. Ooh boy. One reason you'll start feeling your controller rumble is if you... That's fine. Is if you lose traction. You start sliding. At which point you start losing a lot of speed. Oh boy. At some points I do wonder... I really only think this one I watch back my own footage instead of when I'm playing myself, but I do sometimes wonder if it'd be a good idea to try to turn a bit more smoothly and so on. I tend to in this game. I tend to, and I'm using the analog stick, but I tend to just tap it repeatedly. The preload did not do me much good. Instead of just turning it a little bit to turn smoothly. But that's what happens if I try to turn smoothly, I turn too hard! Sorry about that. Okay, this is silly. Let me do a little bit of extra stuff to make up for that, because that one was pretty bad. Perfectly fine race, and then I just, as part of trying to demonstrate turning, doing a really stupid turn straight into a wall. Okay, guys, come on. I thought I kind of caught up there, I guess. I may sometimes get a little bit too aggressive at restarting, but some of these, it can be a little hard to catch back up after you run into problems. This hasn't been too difficult of a course for that, though. Except when you wipe out on the final turn. I should not even do that to amuse myself, really. No more stunts. I should preload, though. Come on. Yeah, it also helps me keep traction, I find, if I land without hitting that bump before the turn. I'm not entirely sure why that is, that I'm more likely to lose traction if I hit that bump. I don't know. I don't know how I managed to hit that without just flying off my bike, but sure. Yeah, maybe with some practice I can start turning a bit more gently when I need to, but... But honestly, even if you turn the stick only like 50%, you still turn really hard. You turn like 70%. The way it scales with how much you move the stick is kind of weird. It feels like if I move the stick 50% to the left, I turn with like 75% intensity, if that makes sense. Which is how I ended up taking that turn way too hard. Running straight into a tire. That was very nice. I like that. There's also just the natural consequence of how going fast means that you turn really hard. Well, so long as you keep traction. If you're going really fast and turn hard, you might just lose traction, at which point you don't turn as tightly. But if you keep traction as you're going quickly, well, in theory, your turning radius doesn't necessarily change much at that point. Despite the fact you're going way faster. Like in the same way that... Jeez, that... Now let's keep hitting that thing. And in the same way that, like, if you were driving a car in real life very quickly and then... Well, I guess the way I put it is if you're driving on a freeway at like 100 kilometers an hour, you steer a lot more gently because it's extraordinarily touchy compared to driving at like a fifth of that speed. I feel a bit of that same phenomenon in this game. Okay, now then. Shouldn't have taken as long as it did, but I guess it's good we got the warm-up, considering that multiple attempts to have taken 0 star. Suitability, fantastic. Yes, probably good that we got the warm-up there, where multiple attempts take substantially less time than they will for Enduro. Okay. Let's do the trailer park. Here I will tune a little bit. Oh, just the usual way. Some more vocals removed from this song. Oh boy. Alright, low. And... there we go. Maybe one day I'll find a bike that appeals to me more than this one, but I'm not sure when that will be. Honestly, when it comes, well, I think like how the money works out. I'm having a hard time seeing how I'm going to get nearly the money I need to buy certain things by the time I finish. Well, at least pro stuff on normal difficulty. Maybe you are excited to play through the game on extra difficulty as well, to keep getting enough money for things. Again, I don't know how much more money you get for completing a tournament on pro or completing a pro tournament. It's a totally separate tournament. Or for completing something on a higher difficulty on extra rather than normal. I guess we'll find out. But maybe I'll get tons of cash from this stuff and then we'll have plenty to buy new bikes and other stuff with. But who knows how much I need other bikes anyways. I'm really feeling this lack of acceleration though. Oh my god. Okay, great. Okay, so the right way to go here is actually just to go straight down and then turn to the left. Let's learn the terrain here before we start trying to really go for anything too crazy. Yeah, so I tend to go in a straight line when I do Enduro, which sometimes does work out. The other racers seem to have a much more specific idea of some kind of road you should follow most of the time. Like, goodbye, people. Yeah, definitely important to get a smooth ride on this one. Lots of like long downhill segments at high speeds. I do appreciate the opportunity to actually think and make some minor adjustments to how your bike controls for the different event types. Okay. We're doing okay. This hasn't proven too difficult, I feel like, as far as Enduro races go. I'm gonna sneak up on this one. Okay, there we go. I just have to say there's no visibility of that gate there. Lots of these waypoints seem fairly close together by Enduro standards. Of course, I come across this thing, which is way out. Some people are apparently taking, well, I'd say some people looked like they were taking very different roads on the minimap there, but I think it was actually just someone that wiped out and their bike just kept on going. Okay. Maybe I need to remove this song from the playlist, not because I dislike it, but just by virtue of how distracting it is hearing or not hearing the lyrics. It's gone to where I don't stop noticing it, but I should probably stop mentioning it. This is the same thing every time, but... This isn't a long one, though. Oh, boy. I know Enduro's usually like that, but jeez. I'm already ahead again. I don't know how I got ahead of everyone. One of the funny things here is I tend to notice I'll, just by virtue of taking weird routes the game doesn't necessarily anticipate, because I tend to take a straight line, I'll sometimes just totally inadvertently manage to cut a corner that the AI never thinks to cut. Although other times it really is faster to actually take the, so to speak, road. Oh boy. Really surprised I didn't wipe out there, but okay. That was a long lap. Go away, friend. Oh yeah, this one, just keep going down. I guess you have a bit more tolerance for impacts from the front than other sides of your bike, which is why I was able to hit that guy from behind and not wipe out when they did. Okay. Yeah, if ever there's a place you'll start feeling a bit unstable from going too fast, that hill is one of them. I don't know if they anticipate you taking the route I just did there, but it felt fine. Yeah, things are getting a bit touchy though from going so fast on all these different bumpy terrains. I feel like there's a slight element of luck to me not wiping out by just happening to bounce the wrong way. Of course, at one point I did already wipe out from landing sideways, but... Oh boy. I also went a bit too sideways there. I don't think get this game's logic for you wiping out if you happen to be moving sideways when you land. In the sense that, like, sure, if the bike flipped over as a result of that, it makes sense, but that's a separate thing. I don't see why physically the rider would fall off as a result of that. Sure, you probably do have way less tolerance for lateral G's, so to speak, than for sideways forces than for forwards and back. Because forwards and back you can you have the bars for that. You either get pushed against the bars if you're going forwards, or you can hold on to the bars to keep yourself in place if you get pulled back. Whereas sideways, yeah, you'll fly off. But that's only if there's actually a sideways force. If I'm landing fairly smoothly on the ground, but I happen to be phasing sideways, it doesn't make sense. The rider just decides, I'm going to let go of the bike now. Which I do find frustrating. It feels like a very silly, gamey aspect. It also just makes you feel a lot more at the mercy of the random whims of the game's physics. Because this is one not really sensibly physics-based aspect. You know, it connects to the physics, of course, because, you know, me moving sideways compared to where I'm facing is physical. But in the sense that there doesn't feel like there's any logical connection between that fact and the fact that the driver falls off the bike. There's no physics saying there's some actual sideways force or whatever applied to them that logically make them fall off the bike. Anyways, I've broken ahead pretty decisively at this point. To the point where I can afford that. To some degree. I do need to make sure, I don't remember who it was that was in second place in this tournament, but I do need to make sure I don't repeat last time where I think I can probably afford getting second instead of first, and then I actually end up having virtually no lead in the tournament anymore as a result of it. That's the funny thing about ATVs, I guess. Since the whole idea is, you know, like going off road and so on, there's not too much penalty most of the time. Go away. To taking a route that's just not on like a road or path or whatever. You got powerful engines in these little things too, so you can go up hills pretty effectively as well, without losing a whole lot of speed. Of course, I have a gear ratio right now that's not favorable to that medium, so... Dude. Back off. Don't really like getting all this air here, but yeah, it's fine. I'm not even sure what route the AI takes there, to be honest. Whatever it is that I do, it seems to be faster than whatever they do, so... Okay. We're at the point where, as long as nothing dumb happens, I'll be perfectly fine. No one's particularly, and there's the one guy behind me, but not particularly gaining on me. Keeping up just fine. But I'm confident in my ability to stay ahead as long as I don't wipe out or anything. Whether I can catch up if I wipe out, I don't know. Lost a little there. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, quarry. Very nice. I had some trouble at the quarry race, quarry enduro last time, I think, but we'll see how that goes this time. But I do look going to spend more time there. Alright. I think that kind of made up for how the first race went. I feel like I'm probably officially warmed up at this point. So, next, what will we do next time? So you've done the... I think at this point I've done the national number 3, I've done enduro number 3, I've done the short track number 3, and I'm refusing to acknowledge the existence of Supercross. So, I think next time we'll see a new freestyle course. One of the less interesting ones. Unfortunately, 2 of the remaining 3 ones I don't remember being especially interesting, but I also just don't remember what Ice Age Rounds is like. I think I remember Sidewinder Rocks, and it's actually a pretty plain one if I remember correctly, but maybe I'm just remembering one small part of it. Bro's Backyard's kind of fun. It's not super exciting terrain-wise or anything, but it's a fun... It's one of those things where the concept is more fun than execution, but it's still a fun concept. You'll see. We'll see what this one is. I don't remember it very well. Anyways, bye everyone.